2 Corinthians 4, 8, 9, and 14 says we often suffer, but we're never crushed. Even when we don't know what to do, we never give up. In times of trouble, God is with us. And when we are knocked down, we get up again because we know God raised the Lord back to life. And just as he raised Jesus, he will also raise us back to life and bring us into his presence together. So I'm rebuilding hope. You can't live without hope. I'm in the process of rebuilding hope. I'm rebuilding my playlist. It's now called Kay's Picks 2. And it has a whole bunch of different songs. There's songs about the future because I know this isn't the end of the story. I know that Matthew's story isn't at the end. My story isn't at the end. God is still writing it. And because of that, I'm willing to try hope again. And so I have a new set of songs. There aren't quite as many, but there's one that I love. It's called Not for a Moment by Meredith Andrews. And some of the lyrics, we sing it here at Saddleback, some of the lyrics go, not for a moment have you forsaken us. Not for a moment have you abandoned us. And my hope is that not for a second did God abandon my beautiful boy. Not for a second. And not for a second has God abandoned or forsaken us. I'm rebuilding my hope box. I took out the verses that I had prayed for several years, not because those verses are not true. They are God's word, and they are true. But they don't apply to my life right now. And I've begun to put other verses in here that give me hope for the future, for this unfinished story that God is writing. 1 Corinthians 15:43 is one of the incredible verses. It comforts me and builds my hope. It says our bodies are buried in brokenness, but they will be raised in glory. They are buried in weakness, but they will be raised in strength. And when I leave the cemetery where I visit often, it helps me mourn to be there and grieve and access God's comfort. And when I leave, I whisper it, Matthew, your body was buried in brokenness. That is true. But your body will be raised in glory. You were buried in weakness, but you will be raised in strength. Hope may not look the way I thought it would, but hope is alive in me because of what I know. And maybe today you're in that place where we were for so long.